I've left Galli to my students to ride over the summer, and he has developed a bad habit of flinging his head when I ask for the trot transition. So this seems to have become more habitual than anything else. Like, it's almost like I close my legs to ask for the transition and he starts flinging his little face in the air. So it's not that he's hollowing in the transition, it's that he's actually protesting me asking for the transition. Now, this has probably happened because he's been ridden by multiple different riders, all with different aids, and he's starting to get what he feels is conflicting signals. So he's saying enough is enough. So I've decided to try to sort this out and really dig into it today, because as you can see, when he's in the desired pace, he's fine. It's just that we seem to be having a little bit of trouble with the walk and maintaining a regular, even walk with good ground cover, and then making that transition to trot. Now, you'll notice that most of the videos on the right, obviously I have ridden him to the left and right, but the most of the time that he's protesting is actually on the right, which is interesting. It also appears to be in the same spot a couple of times, but that could be because that's just coincidentally where I'm asking for the transition and where I've prepped him, because I've established a even rhythm and tempo in the walk, so he's then ready to ask for a trot transition. And you will see that Galli's actually quite reactive to the steadying aids. He's also quite reactive to the whip, so you have to be gentle with that as well. But you saw just a moment ago, I asked him to steady, so he's like halted and flung his little head in the air again because he was trying to jog into the trot, and I said no. He's got to walk and then trot, not walk for a moment, jog and then trot. So I find if I apply a firmer, even firmer steadying aid, he will just stop and do a little rear. It's not dangerous, but it's also not an appropriate habit to learn, which is why when he starts flinging his face in the air, I'm just trying to push him through, keep kicking him on, and I push my hands forward for a moment to allow him that space. Because what I'm wanting him to do is stretch his head and neck back down. I don't want to pull him back into a round frame. I want him to reach for that contact and come down. You will see now he's ended up in the canter, and even though I didn't actually ask for the canter, I did ask him to go forward, and so he's pushed on into the canter. So if I then asked him to come back to trot, I'd be almost giving him conflicting signals. So I allowed him to canter on for a couple of laps. I edited that out on the video before bringing him back to trot and then trying the transition again. And finally, we have a correct transition where he's gone forward from walk to trot without protesting, maintaining an even rhythm and tempo and maintaining that connection. All up, that took about half an hour of me just continuously asking for correct transitions and getting him to pay attention to me and stop having a meltdown because I'm asking for the transition. So I think what you've got to remember is, when they're not wanting to go forward, give them the space to go forward and push them forward. If they go forward too quickly, don't punish that. Allow them to go forward. It is what it is. You ask them to go forward, that you didn't see how quick, so let them go as quickly as they want to, and then fix it up. You have to remember to be consistent with your aids. Here I'm asking the same way every single time. I'm getting different reactions from Galli, but I'm slowly getting to the reaction that I want, which is for him just to go forward, not to stop, not to protest, not to fling his little face in the air, to just go forward to trot without jogging through the walk. It's important that he maintains that even regular 4-beat tempo in the walk, which is now, because I've been pushing the issue of the trot transition, he's now wanting to just jog in the walk rather than walk. You will see as the ride goes on, the protests are getting shorter and less dramatic, which is also what I'm looking for. I would prefer him just to go from walk to trot, but at least he's allowing me to ride corrections now, which he wasn't in the beginning. I hope you have found this video helpful. Please drop a comment below with any feedback or if you have any questions. And please subscribe to our channel, KPH Horse Training Tips, for more training tips and updates.